Okay, so you are recording. You
Okay.
can start whenever you'd like.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Thank you. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore Show. I'm here today with my guest, comedian Justin Martindale.
Hi.
That's just it.
That's it.
Okay, we were literally just talking about one hit. Is it
She's a one-hit wonder.
okay?
Yeah.
One hit wonder, Natalie Imbruglia.
Yeah. From the hit song "Torn," which
Was
came
was
out.
it torn?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was "Torn,"
Okay, that's a
and
big
then
song.
it came out in I think 1997 or 1998. Yeah.
Oh, but you know all about
Mhm.
the '90s.
Oh,
pop
yeah,
hits.
for
Oh,
sure.
right. That's
So
great.
she was a one-hit wonder. Every girl was like, "No, that's what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And she had like a angsty. She was Australian. She was angsty, and she had a video where this guy was just not paying attention to her, and she would lie naked on a floor.
Yes.
Yep.
Desperate.
Desperate. That's really what it was. Yeah.
It sounds like she's a love addict who got broken up with
Mhm.
and she just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But my dad, when I was younger, said that he was dating Natalie Imbruglia.
But like
Imbruglia.
Imbruglia, yeah.
Imbruglia.
But why?
Isn't
Like,
that-
did he put like a whole bunch of 90s pop stars in a hat and pull one out and it was Natalie Imbruglia?
I think he had a photo with her. I think he met her one time at a party, or, which is even sicker, he met someone who looked like her.
Ew. Not a Natalie Imbruglia impersonator.
Just like someone who looks similar to her. And then he started telling us I was dating Natalie Imbruglia. And he would like carry this on, and it was just the kind of thing where I had to be like, that's not happening. Like I had to like talk to myself as like a young child and be like, no, that's not real.
But how long ago was this?
This is when I was a child.
But I mean, how,
like
she
10,
was like
12.
So what year was this?
Like probably when she was popular.
So yeah, like 1997, 98?
Yeah, probably around then.
And he's like, I used to date her.
He was like, I went out with her a couple of times.
But she was like 22 at the time.
It was so weird. Isn't that odd? He would make up a lot of weird shit. I'd be like, Dad. He'd be like, call me Bill. And I'm like, no. His name was Mike. I'm like, literally like snotting, laughing.
Call me Bill?
All my entire life, he still does it. I'm like, Dad. He's like, call me Bill. I'm like, your name is Mike. I don't know.
That's so bizarre.
He's so fucking weird. Do your parents
No.
torture you?
No. Maybe he's just torn. Oh,
Very
God.
odd.
No, my parents don't have like false identities or anything.
That's good. Are your parents still together?
No. God.
Yeah.
No.
So you're from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about your life, your early
A lot
childhood.
of people don't.
Okay.
It's a mystery.
Is it? Do you-
Oh, well, not really, but.
like a good actor, how they don't really like reveal their bios. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like I mean, it was fine. I had a good childhood. But like, did I have the best, like, family growing up?
Mhm.
Not really.
Who did?
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. It was like I was taken care of and I was, you
Mhm.
know, I was never really, well, I was never, well, I didn't, I was a little smart ass shithead kid growing up
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble a
all
lot?
the time.
Were you doing any kind of troublemaker or prank stuff that you
I
can
did.
remember?
I did pranks and I did, I don't know. I was just always like the class clown and stuff. And my teachers would be like, Justin. And they would like send like progress reports home and my parents would have to like sign it. So I'd have to, so I'd always get in trouble with them. And
But would you sign it for them?
I did a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got caught once. It was funny. One of my fondest memories is like the first time I got in trouble was in like kindergarten. I don't remember what I did, but they sent a note home saying like, "Oh, Justin was disruptive" or something like that in class. And I just like walked outside and just ripped it up and threw it in the air. Like, what?
That's so fierce.
I know. I was just like, no, and just like littered on top of it. Like,
Yes.
like no, not doing this. And the teacher was like, "Did Justin get his note?" And my mom was like, "Did your teacher send anything home?" And I was like, "No, just lying and littering."
Yeah.
Like my mom was like, "You can't do that." So I got in
Since
trouble for that. So
where were the field trips you guys went in Texas?
ooh, I remember going to. I think we went to SeaWorld. We would go to SeaWorld. We'd go to the museum. We'd go to the zoo. We'd go to the Alamo.
I don't even know Okay.
What is the Alamo? Is
I-
that where we're going? On
every
this fine
episode
Friday
sounds-
afternoon, this hot August afternoon.
And a perfect time to
Yeah.
discuss the Alamo.
I know. What is it?
It's like 5. Isn't there 5? Isn't there something to do with a 5?
The 5. What
5
is?
stars.
That's a show.
5 parts.
No, it's the.
Okay.
It's Where did you? What is the 5 stars?
Okay, literally every episode, someone is teaching me geography or
Mhm.
history. So this is just that part of
The Alamo was a mission in Mexico that Texas was trying to get their independence from. So in 1836, the Texas was like, we're done with Santa Anna, who is the leader of the Mexican army, and so they stormed the Alamo. I'm forgetting how many days it was. I want to say it was like 3 days or 4 days. I'm not sure. And they had everybody from like America. They had French people. They had Louisiana. They had Tennessee. Davy Crockett was from Tennessee. So a lot of these guys like volunteered freely to like defend America and Texas, and
Wow.
push Mexico out of. It's the original, like the OG build the wall. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so everyone died, and they signed a treaty, and then like the mission kind of stood, and they, it's very Texas. It's just, they have like a gigantic statue where all the bones of the fallen soldiers are like allegedly underneath it, and
Oh
it's
my
like right by
God.
the Riverwalk, and it gets trashy during April where you get all these tourists coming in, and they do like fiesta, and they celebrate the day that Texas got its independence, and everyone just, which is very strange because it's very, San Antonio is very culturally prominently Hispanic.
Tex-Mex?
Tex-Mex, yeah.
Mm.
Tex-Mex.
I'm
which
just
is
throwing
great.
out the little things I
It's
know.
the best food. Yeah,
What
Tex-Mex.
makes Tex-Mex Tex-Mex? Like, what's the difference?
It's just with like a Texas flair on it. So it's like everything's either covered in queso or it's like shrimp wrapped in bacon. It's like traditional Mexican things, but like American
With like a southern twist. Like
Kinda,
extra
yeah.
heavy.
Everyone's like fried and like,
Are there certain foods you're excited to have when you go home that aren't available in LA?
That's a good question. I mean, I like a good queso. That's the best.
Which is like melted cheese.
Melted cheese. That's really all it is. It's like queso fundido, which is like, wow, they put it in a skillet, and they get it all toasty on top, and sometimes they'll add chorizo and stuff to it. And I remember when I first moved out here, I go to restaurants, so I was like, yeah, can I get some queso? And I remember telling a Mexican busboy, can I get some queso for my chips? And he brought out like 5 single slices of cheese, like Kraft, on a plate. And I was like, good one.
Oh,
and he
and
was
then you're like, but I'll wrap it.
he didn't know. They were like, we don't know what the fuck queso is.
Oh my
And I was like,
God.
what?
That's crazy.
But like, yeah, good fajitas, good tacos, good salsa. I'm a salsa freak. I love salsa.
Did
It's
you?
like the one food I can't go without. Yeah.
Do you make it?
I have made it. Pico de gallo. Oh, yes. We're just getting like text.
I'm in a food mood. I'm watching like this thing on Netflix that's like really cool hotels.
Oh.
I just watch it before I go to sleep. It has like Giraffe Manor, like all these extravagant hotels, places in Iceland. And the part that they always talk about the food to get the most excited about. So I think I'm just like in a food mood.
What's the one? Is that the one with the British guy and the lady?
Yes, and I hate the British guy.
Yeah,
Have you
he's
seen
a
it?
snooty guy. But like they go into like the most expensive. It's like the most expensive
Like extravagant,
houses
all over the
or
world.
something.
It's hotels.
Okay, they do
So, like,
hotels now.
In Iceland, there's one that's covered in ice.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
obviously.
cool.
Yeah. Anyways, but when it gets to the food part, like I was falling asleep last night. I took something to make me fall asleep, and I was really drowsy. But when the food part came on, I just
You're like, and I'm up.
woke back up. So
Ugh.
I'm like still.
I
that's on
am
my
still in
mind.
a food coma from last night.
What happened last night?
I went to Mastro's on Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
Oh.
You don't have to tell me where it is.
Oh, I've never been.
Okay.
I know. The guy that I'm talking to kind of took me there. And
Okay.
pigged out.
Mhm.
It was so good though.
Did you meet him on an app?
Did, yeah.
Was he like, where do you want to go to eat? And you're like, Mastro's.
I did not say that. I was like,
That's what girls do with
I
guys.
know. But like as a comic, I'm like, pink taco's cool. Something gross.
Yeah.
The Den. I'll do that.
Isn't it bad? Okay, this is like
Barney's
such a
Beanery.
hacky question, but
What?
isn't it bad to have Mexican food before going on a date with a guy?
Why?
Why?
Because.
Of butt stuff?
But isn't that why?
Can I just speak?
Isn't it just for
candidly?
anybody though? Because doesn't everybody do butt stuff
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, Mexican in general on a date
I think Mexican food would be fine.
for a first date.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, would you rather have Indian food?
I don't. Yeah, I think I could digest Indian food better.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like oily and curry. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't affect me.
You're like,
Ha-
you're like, challenge accepted. You're like, Steven, we're going to get Indian tonight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how did it go? What'd you get?
We got lobster, mashed potatoes, oysters, steak, 8-ounce filet mignon, Brussels sprouts,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was really funny because our waiter was gay,
Yeah.
and the guy I was with, my best friend, was like, he's like, oh my God, I know the waiter. He's like, I ghosted him a long time ago,
Oh
and I was
my
like,
god.
you asshole, how horrible. You're an awful person. He's like, yeah, we started talking on Grindr or whatever. I'm like, ew, Grindr. And then he's like, yeah, and then he gave me his number and I never called him. And I was like, you're a terrible person. And then the waiter came over and he's like, hi, I just want to let you know, dessert's on me tonight. I'm a huge fan of yours. And I was like, oh, thank you so
To you?
much. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, see what you get. You're an awful person. We'll take the butter cake.
I love that.
So, which, by the way, the butter cake at Mastro's. Have you had it?
I have not had the butter cake.
Oh my God.
But
It was
I've
the
been.
best dessert I've ever had in my life.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So, were you when he said that he had ghosted the guy? Did you
Mhm.
start to get self-conscious and think, "What if he ghosts me and this is his
No,
thing?" But
no,
then
no,
fuck it, you know,
No, we're
overthink
good.
things.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good. We're like a good month in. So
Okay.
that's like 5 years in gay.
I
Yeah.
remember. Oh, really? I remember you told me that you had met this
Uh-huh.
guy and
Uh-huh.
he slept over, and you're like, "Yeah, he's still in my apartment," and I was like, "What?" Like he
When was that? A while ago?
It was like probably a couple months ago.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Oh yeah. No, that was
And then something crazy happened
yes,
with him.
That was like December or January. That was
Okay.
longer than that.
I filed it away.
It was when I had the like what did I say? The refugee at
Ye-
my house.
So it was a guy. It was just like a guy you're hooking up with, and then
It was the guy I was talking to, and then he was like, "Can I stay?" Because he like lived in East Hollywood or something. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be back. I have some spots. I'll be right back." And I was
Mhm.
like, "I have to get back home. There's a guy in my apartment." You're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I trust everyone."
I know that's so crazy.
I know, it's so stupid.
But didn't something happen with him? That after that, and it was like, oh my god, it was the guy.
Oh, no, you're thinking of the crazy one that we got banned from here. The one that like showed up. That was years ago. That was the one that was like,
Oh, you told me about
yeah.
that because you thought it was him in the booth.
yes,
So
that was a good
do
story.
you attract crazy guys?
I do. Yeah, I'm like, if you're a sociopath, come this way.
I understand that.
But that's all changed with this one. This one's actually like not in the industry at all. Not an actor.
Uh-huh.
Has like a full-time job.
Yeah, that's nice.
Stable, funny, can keep up. Like, it's great.
And it's good to go out with someone who's funny,
Yes.
who isn't in the biz.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of the times people would just be trying to be funny.
Right.
And
Or
it's
they
just
just
like,
wanna,
don't
like,
even
get in.
try. It's like, stop.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've had people that I've dated who've been like, oh, I'm trying to get into stand-up. It's like, oh God, red
No.
flag.
Yeah.
Or then it's like, or like, just take care of me.
Someone has outright said that to you?
Well, not
Or that
like,
was the vibe?
but that's the vibe.
You're like, oh, I forgot my wallet.
yeah, it's just like I'm unhappy with what I'm doing in my life, and like, can you help me out?
Have you had any crazy hookup stories that you feel like sharing?
I mean, not crazy.
Any mishaps?
Oh, tons of mishaps. Of course.
I'm just finding a different phrase. that
Tons of
strikes some-
mishaps. Tons and tons of mishaps. I mean, oh, yes, I do have a really fun one. Wait, no, I have two fun ones.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I've said this on another podcast
It's
or not,
fine.
but whatever. So there was one, God, this was like maybe 10 plus years ago when I first moved to West Hollywood. This guy was like, um, he was like, hey, I kind of have a fetish. And I was like, cool. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know what fetishes were. I immediately went to feet, which,
Okay.
by the way, if you try to touch my feet, I will fucking kick you in the neck.
Because you're ticklish, or because it's
I'm ticklish. I hate it, and the guy I'm seeing now loves to fucking do it, and I'm
like stuck on your toes.
no. Oh, gross. Do not.
Oh, like
Ugh.
jack off with
No,
the feet.
No.
I did that, by the way, in high school. So I get it.
No, I'm just saying, even touch my feet.
Okay.
Like, physically just touch my feet. I'm just like,
Oh.
I
Was that a
lose it.
childhood trauma?
No, I don't know. I'm very ticklish. I just don't like my feet touched.
Okay.
And so that's all I knew about fetishes. And he was like, I go, well, what do you like? He's like, well, sometimes I like to put on a diaper and be humiliated like a baby. And I'm like, this has been so much fun. But I gotta go. And that was like the last time I've really seen him. And every now and then I'll run into him. Like, he still lives out here. He has,
but
like,
don't you want to just try it?
No, not at all.
Just for fun?
No, I'm not Michael Jackson.
Okay.
God, no.
There's part of me that, like, if I was in that position, I think I would do it just to see, like, I don't know. I like putting myself in weird situations just to,
Mhm.
like, kind of, I don't know. It's like a high.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into that, but I'd want to, like, try it.
Just to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's like. But I'm not very I tried to get a job as a dominatrix when I was 18, and
You'd be a good dominatrix.
I didn't get it
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not
Well,
that kind of dominating person, and they
Mhm.
saw right through me.
Yeah. I feel like you'd be like one of those, like, I'm over it dominatrix, you know? Where they
Do
like,
they have those?
I think so, where it's like, yes, humiliate me, mistress or madam, and you're just like, ugh. And you roll your eyes, and they're like,
Yeah.
she's ignoring me.
Yeah. That would have
she's
been good
over
for
me
me.
already.
That would have been good for me.
I think you and I, especially when I see you, like, we can say a lot by not saying a lot. Like, we can
Mhm.
just roll our eyes or look at each other and we have a full-on conversation.
Okay, I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least I think that way with you.
Yeah, like how you can just see something and
Mhm.
judge them silently and be
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because a lot of people would be like, what?
Yeah, and
it's
you're just like, you don't get it.
yeah.
You don't get it.
Yeah, I'm a bitch.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes us a little witchy together.
Okay, so about witchy.
Uh-huh.
So there's this whole thing about this like underground LA witch thing.
Okay, what does that mean?
Oh, you don't know about that?
Maybe I do. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, a couple
I
of
want to get into it.
I know I'm thinking I do too. And there's several girls I know who they go to like, I don't know if they're called seances or like they kind of just circle up with some like feathers and rocks or whatever and candles and they do these like spells, but it's like a thing. It's like a kind of like an exclusive thing with cool chicks who do witch stuff. And then you said witchy stuff,
Yeah.
so
Well, I've always identified as a witch.
okay.
Not like a witch, but like not a warlock, not like spells or anything. But I've
Mm.
always been a little like attracted to the dark side.
Yeah, okay, and tell me more about that.
I don't know. I just think
Did it start with the craft?
no.
By the way, I can't believe they're
What?
remaking it.
I know it's gonna eat shit.
Mhm.
It's gonna be terrible. No, I've always like just kind of been obsessed with like macabre and like
Macabre.
like just
MACAB. What is that?
MACABRE.
Oh, okay.
Macabre. The macabre. It's just like, just kind of like dark, spooky, weird shit. I was always kind of obsessed with like, I don't know, like persecution and like
Salem?
torture. Yeah, like how someone can kind of like the Iron Maiden, how someone could just like come up with a device with spikes in it and put people in it, like
Punishment.
right, like weird and like yeah, like Salem witch trials, like how you could be just jealous of somebody and then like
And decide they're a witch.
and be like, I want their property. She's a witch. She was dancing naked in the field, and they're like, hang her up, like, and it was just like, what, like how insane that was. And I feel like it's still kind of going on today, and I just kind of like this idea.
How is it going on today?
Well, just it's like, I mean, look at this administration where it's just like oh, fake news, everything's fake, and if you don't believe it, it's just kind of like that. It's just like, no, no, this is the truth. It's like, no, it's not the truth. You're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Jewish person and you don't vote for me in 2020, you're a bad Jew. Like, oh, okay, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know,
But are you doing spells?
I don't do spells. No,
Have you tried one?
I've tried some.
So have I.
I've done, but like I've also feel like energy. And I've actually had somebody tell me that I'm like an energy vampire, which is kind of weird.
Oh, so you suck energy. I know what those are.
I don't I can read energy. If that means
energy vampires are people
they
who are
suck the energy.
draining.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't drain people's energy. That's annoying to me. You're just being annoying.
That's what. Yeah.
No, I think I can look at somebody and like immediately tell if I'm gonna like them or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's not judgy. It's just like I'm very free with like giving people chances and stuff about like, but like there are certain people that I adore, and I'm like, if it's like, oh, do you know so and so? I'm like, oh yeah, I love them. And then there's just people I'm just like, get them away from me.
I know exactly.
I just don't want that person near me because they're just bad all around to the core.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I see that all the time here. There's certain people
Oh,
who
yeah.
just walk up to the booth, and I get cold inside and a bad feeling, and I'm like, they can't come in. And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't want them here. And then I'll just be like, put them away from me. There's some people that,
like guests?
Yeah, like creepy guys.
Oh, yeah.
And other people don't, a lot of people don't see it, and they're like, what? They seem fine. It's like, no. There's something inside them that's making my body, like, go off. And so there's, like, the whole thing that, like, within the first 3 seconds of meeting someone, that you can, like, sense who they are as a person. But I think some people just have, like, blinders to that. Or it's also following your intuition and your gut.
Well, it's like I've done that before, where it's like I've been walking at night, and I'm like, I could go this way, this normal path that I go on all the time, or I can go this way, and for some reason it'll be like, let's go this way tonight. And then like the next day I'll hear of like a story of like someone getting mugged down the street that I was gonna walk down, like, and it's just that like,
oh my, intuitive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I'll just get that like, something's off tonight. Or it's like, I'm not like one of those like fake bitches who are like, oh my God, Mercury is totally in retrograde. No, it's like, okay, that's fine and all if you believe in that, but I'm like, I like look at the moon when it's like giant and full, and I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be a cool night. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
I've never like gotten the moon thing.
Oh, I love.
I know that's a big thing. Everyone's like, it's a full moon, so.
So
what? What's happening? What the fuck does that mean?
The moon is full. Are you ready?
And finish the sentence.
Things are gonna get weird.
Yeah.
But
people get crazy on full moon.
I know.
It's like,
but
do
that's
they?
the thing.
Is it?
Yeah. I remember being like, that's like a thing. It's like a proven fact that like, because the moon, when it's full, pulls the tides. So the moon has a whole thing with like the tides of the ocean, and our bodies are made up of water. So when the moon is working the tides in the ocean, they're probably working our water frequencies in our bodies. So it makes us like,
yeah, I've never looked up at the moon.
Oh, ever? Should check it out. It's pretty cool. I love it when it's just like gigantic and like, I think it's like near the fall when it's like that. Big,
yeah, I'd
like,
have to see
yellow.
a photo on Instagram to be like, oh, should I go look at it? But like even like when it was red or whatever, the blood moon, I was just like, okay, like I guess I'll look. And
I know.
It's just like but I'm never like looking up at the sky like, where's the moon tonight?
Yeah. If you see it, if like it's a big full moon, I'm like,
yeah. Like it doesn't resonate with me. I'll see it and be like, okay.
What's your sign?
Libra.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're already judging, and I'm sensing it. I'm intuitive too. What are you?
I'm a Pisces.
Ooh, difficult.
Right? Difficult.
Is that true?
No. Yes. Oh God.
I only say that because the guy I really liked in high school was a Pisces, but he didn't really like me back. So I was like, they're difficult.
I'm a Pisces and an Aries.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm the last day of Pisces. So it's weird. So my birthday's my birthday's on March 20th. So it's like if you look in like birthday books or whatever horoscopes, it'll say sometimes I'm a Pisces or sometimes I'm the start of Aries. So it always changes. So I was just like, oh, I'm both.
Yeah. Are you very into astrology? You said you have a tattoo of a
I'm not
sign?
really. I just feel like I'm not like a big like what's your moon sign and all that
Mhm.
stuff, but I know it. I'm a Taurus. But it's like I feel like it's
Rising.
kind of interesting and witchy. And I just think it's kind of interesting how that all came about, like millions, thousands of years ago. Like someone just looked up there and was like, oh, huh. And then how that process all came about, like astrology and
Yeah,
crystals and sage and all that kind of
that is
stuff.
true.
Sage? Do you sage your house?
Yeah,
Why?
sometimes. Because we just own it. And one time was like after a bad breakup, and I'm like, oh, better like clear the air because you're desperate to do anything
Anything.
to make you feel like you're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll like sage around. And then the other night we did, but only because we were using it as a prop for
You,
something we were filming.
you were saging
Yeah.
and you were using it as a
Well,
prop?
Steven was. I
Oh.
was filming him doing something, and he was doing the sage to be weird in the thing.
I always think it's so funny because like I got caught by a neighbor because I have like my curtains were open to like my window and I was like saging. I cleaned my apartment like a good scrub down and like had this sage and it was just like and I was just like saying things like like what is it called like
Affirmations.
manifesting and all
Yes.
this kind of stuff and like I looked out the window and my neighbor's just staring into me like what the fuck are you doing and I'm just like this is some white girl shit. I know. I'm sorry.
That is so funny. Oh my god. Do you do any manifesting stuff?
No, I mean sometimes
Ever made a vision board?
I have.
Yeah.
I went to a journal party for New
Okay.
Year's.
And what's that?
It's like where everybody sits around and kind of like writes in like a journal like what they want to do for their goals.
Intentions.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
It was actually kind of nice. I kind of went in being like, this is stupid, and then by the end of it, I was like, everyone is so special to me. This has been
You're like,
one
you're
of the
totally
best.
gonna make those goals happen. Okay, I see that in you.
This one girl, she was like, if anybody has advice for a 23-year-old girl in Hollywood, what is it? I was
Don't suck dick.
no, I told her, I was like, suck all the dick.
Oh,
Go.
really?
Live your life.
Yeah,
Go.
it doesn't work.
Go
You
for
know,
it.
I've tried that.
I was like, don't sleep with comedians.
Have you ever gotten into a hookup situation with someone in power?
Oh, wow.
And I know that's a personal question.
With someone in power? But I had to think about it. Hold on. Someone in power.
Like when you first moved here, or like you go out with someone, you're flirty with someone, because you like don't really know. Like, how old were you when you moved to LA?
20. The first time I was 22, and then I moved away, and then I came back when I was 25.
Oh, so why'd you move away?
Because it was just too much for me.
Will you walk me through?
I did it all wrong. I moved out here. I like didn't have a job. Like I had like two friends, my two best friends from high school, and we just moved out here and we got a place over in like Palms, California.
Where is that?
Palms, it's over like kind of like by like Venice, Santa Monica
Okay.
area. And got a job at the Cheesecake Factory in Beverly Hills. Not as a waiter. I was like, I put the whipped cream on the cheesecake. That was my job.
Did you sneak some
Sneak some cheesecake
whipped cream?
like into my mouth.
Like
no,
like all shift long?
no, but it was just so awful and humiliating and ugh. But it was a job,
Mhm.
and then after that, it would be like, all right, let's go fucking party. And
Yeah.
it was just like Monday. I had this group of friends that like they were fun and everything, but like I could not keep up with them.
Really?
Oh yeah, they were like Monday we would go here, Tuesday we go here, Wednesday we go here, Thursday we go here, Friday we go here. So it was just like I'm making this money and then just spending it, and I couldn't afford anything. And I got introduced to like drugs for the first time.
Yeah. What drugs? Crystal?
No.
Okay.
No. I did do that, but that was before I moved out to California. But it was
So
like
have I.
cocaine
Yeah.
and I think that was really it. Was that. But yeah, I would just like I would just go to these like insane parties and like I like went back home one day and like all my shit was on the sidewalk and my friends were like, "Bye," and I was like,
What?
Because they were just like, "You can't. You're just too much. Like we don't know. You're not in a good place and like you're never here and it's like can't afford to live here." So like I went away, and then
Where'd you go?
I moved in with my aunt who lives like a couple hours outside of LA.
Mhm.
So that was kind of like a detox, like a what's it called, rehab for me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And then I got this job opportunity like a couple summers in Lake Tahoe where I got to like do theater, and that was like really like my niche for,
Mhm.
and I got to focus, and it was like, I got with like friends who did the same thing as me, and then I met this girl, her name was Kate, and she was like, hey, at the end of the summer, this was 2005, because after that I went back home to Texas and
Mhm.
worked there with my family and stayed with my parents and everything. And then 2005, she was like, hey, let's move to LA at the end of the season. And I was like, oh, I kind of did it already. I don't. And
Yeah.
she was like, no, it'll be fine. And moved out here again. I lived in Redondo Beach, and then like that all went to shit. And
Mhm.
luckily, I transplanted over to West Hollywood. I could afford it at the time,
Mhm.
and I've been here ever since. And had I not said yes to her, I would not be where I'm at today. And
Wow.
it's kind of weird, like, to think about it like that, because I
When
believe that's all
y-
like,
and it
witchy and
totally.
you
Yeah.
know.
When you moved here, did you have the intention of acting,
Oh
stand
yeah,
up
I was
and
like,
stuff?
I'm gonna be a star.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because but at the same time, it was like I grew up in Texas, so it was like I kind of did it, and I knew I didn't want to go to New York because I can't do New York. It's just too much for me.
Really?
It's just too much for
It's
me.
so funny when I hear people say that.
Really,
Mhm.
I just couldn't do it.
They say it's like so crowded, overwhelming, too much is
It's
going
very
on, it's
much.
exhausting.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, I did it for. I mean, I went to Fashion Week maybe I think it was like 2 years ago.
Isn't it so much fun?
What, Fashion
I
Week?
used to go growing up all the time.
To Fashion Week or New
Yeah.
York? Both?
What?
Both of them, like Fashion Week or New York?
In New York, Fashion Week.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
from
fun.
New York.
Oh yeah.
In New York, and I did it in Milan. It was when I was like younger because
Oh,
my
see,
dad's
that's
job. Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I liked it, but I was like, I'm done. It was kind of like East Coast Vegas for me
Okay.
because it was just, and I couldn't imagine it being hot and being sweaty and
Uh
like
huh.
subways and armpits and smells
Mm.
and the
Mhm.
trash on the sidewalk and rats
Yeah.
and then being like, I've got 22 spots tonight, and you're like, I no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
lot
good.
to do
Yeah,
both at once.
yeah.
So then you came to West Hollywood, and what did you do from there once you got here?
I just bounced around from job to job, and then uh that's when like I started doing stand up because it was like the recession happened, and I was like living with this guy that I had a relationship with for many years off and on. And I was just like, shit, I don't know what to do. I mean, I might have to move back home because it was just everything was expensive and the
Mhm.
recession was happening. And that's when I just like I was watching the show, and like some stand up comedy was on, and I was like, I've always been told I was funny, so let's just try this out and see.
Mhm.
And I started doing that in October of 2008. And then, yeah, and then 2009 is when I got past here.
Okay. You know how insane that is,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I know.
And you were one of the last or the last
Yeah,
person
I
that
was
Mitzi passed.
yeah, the last one.
I can't, and you had only been doing stand up for a year.
October to June.
Like, oh, so you little asshole. So, like, so you're like,
Sorry about
okay,
that.
you know the months. What is that? 8?
6 months? October,
6
November, December,
months?
January, February, March. No, wait. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 9 months. So like
9
a baby.
months.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And it was totally by accident.
Okay, so tell me the story. I know you've probably talked about this so many times,
Yeah.
but I don't really know it, and it blows my mind. In it.
So, it was June 25th was a Thursday. Michael Jackson died that day. June 26th, there was a Tammy Joe and Kathy Lewis used to run a room in the main room, and it was kind of a bringer show, so you had to sell like 10 tickets to
Mhm.
perform. And everyone was out that night. It was a summer night. Michael Jackson just passed away. All the music was on. Like people had the windows down in their cars, like jamming out to Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. It was really kind of
Special.
yeah. And everyone was in town. Like everybody was here. Like it's one of the we have those nights every now and then when everyone's like not on the road, they're all here and everyone
Mhm.
can catch up um and there was like 16 comics. I happened to be like 14, and I was like, ugh.
Mhm.
And it was sold out. It was packed in the main room that night. And then all of a sudden, like Mitzi or Tammy Joe was like, um, um, Justin's going third, and I was like, oh, okay, well that's cool. And so I went up and did my spout. I did 6 minutes, And I got off stage and I sat down with my friends, and that's when Tammy Jo came over to me and she's like, "Get the fuck up." And I was like, "I'm good." She's like, "No, get up right now." I'm like, "I'm watching the show." She's like, "Mitzi just passed you as a paid regular."
What? Did you kill?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I did. And then but that's the
Have
funny.
you met her before?
I've met her after. I met her at the reunion. That was, what was that?
But like before that.
No. I had no idea who she was.
So she just wandered in the room and
She
happened
just
to.
happened to come down from Mount Shore and
Uh-huh.
like was walking through the rooms with her with her helper, and she saw me and she was like, "Him," and she went to Tommy, who was, I don't know
Yeah.
if you knew Tommy, but like
Yeah.
she was like, he's got it, pass him, he's got what it takes. And he was like, "Well, do you want me to give him development spots?" And she was like, "No, pass him as a paid regular." And so that's when I got whisked away to Tommy, and he was like, "What is?" It was very like this weird prophecy moment. Again,
Mhm.
witchy shit. Like, what are the chances? Like lightning struck that
Yeah.
night.
Wow.
And I remember like he's just looking at me from the booth, which scared me. Like where you work, like in that booth in
Yes,
the OR.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, but like for some weird reason, like seeing it for the first time, it was terrifying. It was almost like the Wizard of Oz. Like you go up those steps and there's Tom, and he's like, "What has just happened to you has never happened before,"
Yeah.
And I think the last
Telling you
person
your
that
prophecy.
yeah, it was weird. I was like, okay, I had no idea. I think the last person before me to get passed was by Mitzi was Crystalia, I think.
Wow.
I think Crystalia, and then I think she passed Whitney Cummings with a videotape because that's how they like used to do it. But I think the actual person that she saw. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, like they, going forward now, it's like, yeah, it was like, had that not have happened, had I not said yes to Kate,
Yeah.
moving to LA, like none of this would have happened.
Yeah, and then were people rude to you?
Oh God, people are still rude to me. Are you kidding me?
Still?
Oh God, yes. Oh, people.
But
Yeah.
not because of the.
Well, it's just a lot of like. A lot of people, when it happened, a lot of people thought that it was just like handed to me. You know what I mean?
I do. That's
And
well,
there,
I can imagine.
Yeah,
That's
it was
why.
just like, who the fuck are you? And then there was also this like stigma that she had lost her mind because she was like ill,
Yeah.
and she was not as ill as she was, but she was getting there.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, she just doesn't know what she's talking about. She just saw this guy." And then I remember like Bobby Lee and Jody Miller and Ari Shaffir and all these guys coming up to me being like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Literally?
Yo, yeah, they were like, "What?" Because like people try
I know.
so hard.
Yeah.
Years and years and years and years and tapes and tapes and tapes and tapes, and she would just be like, "Nope.
And they were like, "You're just some random bringer."
You're just some random person. Who the fuck are you?" It's like you never worked a door. You
Mhm.
never were a bartender. You never like did an open mic. You never did the potluck. You never did anything. You just skipped all of that. Like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't like plot this out. And then on top of it, you're gay?
And that was a problem?
Oh, yes, of course it was a problem.
Why was that a problem?
Because it was just like, wait, what? We don't have gays here?
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I remember like I remember
Did someone really say that to you?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I get it all. I still get it all the time. I always still feel that way about this place too because it's a very bro club. I mean, we
Bro.
obviously know
Yes,
that.
it is.
Obviously,
Yes, it
look at the
is.
lineups.
Yeah.
But it's always weird. I always love the fact that they let me play in
Mhm.
with the guys because it's like
You are one of them.
I know, but a lot of them are still very like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Justin?" You know what I mean? And I'm like,
But
calm
that's
down."
their shit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's also like, calm down.
Yeah.
I can play. I can fist bump. I can hang out in the hallway.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh every now and then because I just kind of like, and I feel bad because like it's a hard place, especially for like a new guy. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know how the hell I did. It was a lot of drinking. God.
Yeah. So when people were giving that to you, did you feel like did you have like a friend? Like, were you lonely? Did you feel like you had to prove yourself?
Yes, I definitely felt like I had to prove myself in the beginning. Um, because I had only been doing it for so.
Yeah. Like, how much time did you have?
I mean, it was like I remember it was like my first set as a paid regular, and it was like, so I went from 6 minutes to okay, you got 15, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Did you even have
I don't
that much
even
time?
know. I don't even
Mhm.
know. And I remember it was like, all right, you're bringing up Argus Hamilton. I'm like, who? I had no idea who anybody
Yeah.
was. And I just remember like I didn't know how to really work and grow. And then I remember it was like I stopped getting spots, and then I finally was like, "Hey, I'm not getting any spots. Like, what's going on?" And then Tommy was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna like put you up in the belly room a couple spots." So I to like kind of learn and grow and all that stuff. And then it's not until I started getting put in between, I think it was Rick Ingram and like Leslie Jones.
Okay.
And I would have to like sandwich the two of them. Like I was right
Yeah.
in the middle of those two. That's when I started like, okay, I've got to like fucking keep up.
Yeah.
And so that's when like my crowd work and stuff would like come out and like, just the little like
Mhm.
little snippy
Mhm.
comments and whatever. And that really like kind of helped me out.
Were you always a confident performer, or did that come in time? Did you have to like fake it in the beginning because you were like,
I'm always scared every time I go
Mhm.
up. Always.
Yeah.
Always, always. Especially here and especially like late night. Because that's why I love doing the early shows because it's like everyone's listening and they're coherent and they want to have a good time. When it's late and they've been drinking for 5 hours and they're just like, all right, we've seen enough. Now it's about us, and that's what I'm just like. You know what? It's late. I'm tired, just like you. I
Mhm.
don't have time to deal with all of this. Like, I just want to get my shit done and go home.
Yeah.
Like, it it is scary. It's very scary, and I always feel like, and I always get weird because I remember being when I first started. People were like, "You never mentioned that you're gay on stage," and I was like, "Why? I feel like I don't have to."
Yeah.
Like you can hear this come out of my voice. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, this is what I sound like.
Yeah.
Um, but it was they were like, that's what we like about you. Like you're not a gay comic. You're a comic who happens to be gay. And I was like, well, I always feel that way. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's not like who makes me.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, I'm very proud of who I am, but I'm not like
You don't have to be like, I get it. I suck dick.
yeah.
Like what? Do you-
Yeah, it's like an Asian comic being like, so I'm Asian, and you're like, what? Yeah.
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 Like, don't you have to point that out?
Yeah.
Like, not really. No.
Yeah. It's like, you guys ready for a female?
I hate that.
It's the
People do
worst.
that all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time. There's this one person who, whenever they host potluck, every single time they're like, and now a girl.
Oh God.
And she's actually funny. He does it every single time. It's like crazy.
Who is it?
I'll tell you.
Okay. I'm like,
But
"What?"
other people have told me that he does the same thing about them, and we're like, that's so weird.
But see, again, that's on him.
Yeah.
So that's obviously an insecurity.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like this country, like there hasn't, I mean, there's several out gay comics that I know very well. And I just feel like America's just now kind of warming up to the idea of it. Um, I've got, there's a lot of New York comics that I admire a lot and some LA comics, but I just feel like gay crowds scare me the most,
Hmm.
honestly.
Now that I think about it, I feel like a lot of gay comics are more in the alt scene too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because they can be weird.
Uh-huh.
Because they can be, they can put on a wig and it's just like, oh, that's just they're being
Yeah.
alternative. You know,
Right.
where it's like I don't do that. I mean, my thing is like I can do impressions and stuff, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't. My thing is like I can perform in front of straight people way more comfortably and confident than in like put me in like a bunch of Trump supporters. I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
Put me in like a bunch of gay guys. I'm like body dysmorphia. I'm gross. Don't look at me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you go on the road a lot with Jim Jeffries,
Yeah.
opening for him
Uh-huh.
all over, which
Yeah.
is so much fun, I
Yeah,
bet,
he's a buddy
right?
of mine. Mm-hmm.
And you're do you get so you're all doing like theaters.
Yeah.
And is that what's more nerve-wracking, like doing that or like being in the OR?
Um, Not being in the OR, being in the main room.
Yeah, I don't like the main room as
The
much.
main room scares the shit out of me.
It does?
Yes. I just don't know why. It's like I could do a theater in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And it's like 3,000 plus people, and you're just like, all right.
Mhm.
Like I did the Grand Ole Opry. Like I grew up in the South, and that was like legendary. for me.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it was so much fun, and I was just like, oh, how historic and iconic, and like what a great experience to have. And then it's like I get into the main, like I'm in the main room tonight. I'm just like, because it's just I don't know. It always just I don't know why everyone says the OR is the hardest room here.
Mhm.
I just have way more fun in the OR. I don't know why, but like the main room, I just feel like you kind of have to do your best of.
Yeah.
just because it's so big
Mm-hmm.
and it's just more.
It becomes more presentational.
It's right. I think that's what it is because I think it's just the space, how it's circular,
Yes.
and you have like
Do you
all
rotate between?
like
Do you like?
get this
Yeah,
crowd, this crowd,
yeah.
get this crowd. No, not really.
Okay.
But it can be very, very intimidating because you just walk out behind that. It's also
Yeah,
like
it's
you
like
walk
you
out
think-
behind the curtain.
I know. Do you?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like,
Oh, so yeah.
Like-
Sometimes I'm just like, tough release.
like it's kind
yeah.
of like
like
yeah.
a magician's assistant or
yes,
something. Yeah.
Yes.
But
I know. Sometimes I think about the curtain too. Like not really, but like right before I'm like
right.
the grand entrance.
Oh, I did it once where I just like flung them and everyone's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I do it sometimes, but then I get nothing, and then I'm like, okay, like reset.
Yeah. But then I'm like, but then you look out there and it's it's, it's trying to remember like one night. I think it was a couple weeks ago, like Brian Scalero. I had to bring up David Spade, and like Brian Scalero was like, all right, this is a David Spade crowd, da da da, and people started like freaking out.
Ugh.
And then he's like, but we got one more guy. And I was
I
like, you
hate
son of a
that.
bitch. Like, they thought they were getting David Spade. He's like, Justin Martindale. And people were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hello, everyone. and they were not having me at all. And I was just like, get me off this stage now.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so awful. I hated it.
I notice sometimes I'm like way too close to the edge.
Oh, really?
Just because like I feel, because of the way that it's set, and then I watch other people and I'm like, they're so far back.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, maybe I'm too close to the edge.
No, I think that's fine, though.
Okay, cool.
I think it says a lot if you're like, back.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
you're hiding.
you're hiding. You're,
No,
like,
I'm right up
intimidated.
there trying to look at the
Yeah.
fucking.
But what always scares me is those like people in the front row who don't want to be in the front row, and then I'm like, why are you sitting in the front row?
I
then?
know.
Like arms
Sitting like
crossed.
this.
Yeah, arms crossed, and you're just like, and you're like, wow, you are fucking unpleasant.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll pick that one person out in the audience, and and the entire time in your head you'll be like, you fucking asshole, and you'll be like deciding you fucking hate them. So I had that recently, and then at the end of my set, he goes, "You're hilarious," and I stopped.
Oh, that's weird too, right?
And I go, I'm sorry, but this guy has not been laughing the
Right.
entire time, and now you're saying you're hilarious. I'm like, why weren't you laughing?
Right.
Like, why were you? I just don't get that.
That's always so weird because that happened to me on that happened to me actually on when was I here? Wednesday. This
Mhm,
past Wednesday. Nobody was here. And no. I think it was last Saturday. I don't remember. All the days meshed together. One
Mhm.
time I was recently on stage and I knew that I was like my 15 was up. And they hadn't lit me and I'm just still up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kept going and going and going and going and going and going. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just still going up here. And it was weird. And I was having fun and people were having fun. But it's like, okay, well, like I'm now I'm done with all the stuff I wanted to work on. So it's like, all right, let's dig up some shit from the vault. And then finally, like, they were like, yeah, we just ran you because like 5 people hadn't shown up. And then finally, like, I think Kirk Fox came in. He was like, hey, I'm here. And it was like, oh, get me off this stage, please.
I know.
And people were, and like afterwards, people were like, that was so good. And you were like, oh, thank you.
Was
But
that
then
in
it
the
ga-
OR?
Yeah.
I was there that night.
That was, yeah, you were there. And I
Yeah.
was like, how long did I do? And you were like 19 or 20 minutes or something
But
like
it was
that.
great.
It was
no,
fun,
it was
though.
longer. It was like 27. So
Just doing a half hour.
but it was great. Some people really excel when
They
they
drag
get
'em
more
out.
time, and you're like,
Yeah.
this person needs more time. They need to be you know what I mean.
Let them have fun because I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, at least it's me and not like somebody who's like, well, hey,
I know.
what? I mean,
Yeah, tons of those.
yeah.
So you are a co-host of a show on E called
Uh-huh.
What the Fashion, and just hit 1 million.
We hit 2 million.
2 million?
2 million subscribers.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you had a little bit of a journey with E. Can you talk to me about your persistence with working with them?
Yeah. How much time do we have?
I mean, we can like get into all this E stuff, and then I'll let you go.
Okay. So,
But get into it as much as you want.
well, when I first started here, I was like, very pop culture-y, and I was still kind of like that, but still kind of like, I mean, I have a niche for pop culture, obviously, and I remember I got banned from Chelsea lately because I got drunk at her Christmas party, and
Really?
yeah, and she wasn't having it, and like
What did you do?
I just got shit faced because there was an open bar, and I wasn't
Mhm.
like in with the cool kids yet, and she was dating. I almost said R. Kelly, but it's not R. Kelly.
50 Cent?
50 Cent. Sorry, I'm not hydrated enough. Um, and I just went up to her and was like, "Rah, rah, rah," and she was like, "Get this guy out of my party." But that, like, no one explained that to me because she wasn't drinking that night.
Oh, okay.
So,
The one night.
yeah, the one night that she's made an entire career off
Right?
of. Right. It was just fucking awful. So for like, I got banned from that. I was like, I'm done. Like I had managers. I went through managers. I think I actually had your manager at one point, and like,
Oh.
and they were like, no, Justin's banned. Like Michael Cox would book it, and he was just like, nope, Justin's banned. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? Oh, you know what you did. No, I don't. Like that's what he would say to me, and it just it ate.
You know what you did?
Yeah.
That's so
It's so,
unprofessional.
and it really like fucked with my head. I was like, I was like, I'm done. I've worked so hard, and I fucked that up. I'm like, I'm a joke. Like I went into like a crazy like 3-year long depression.
Wow.
Just because I was like, how could I? And I continued to drink more and
Yeah.
continued to just like kind of destroy myself pretty
Mm.
much. And then gradually they started getting more and more into comedy and stuff. So I started going in for pilots and testings and chem tests and stuff like that. A chem test is like chemistry to see if you guys get along with the other people on panels and stuff. Um, so there was always this like back and forth, back and forth. Oh, it's not going. We're not picking it up. No, not today. But we love you. 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 And finally,
We love Justin.
I was like,
Yeah.
I had enough, and like we had just taped like a pilot for What the Fashion, and then they were doing something for like the Golden Globes, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. And they went with this comic who is performs here regularly. And I was just kind of like, wait, what? I was like, he's a straight white guy talking about fashion at the Golden Globes. What is like
No.
what?
No.
And I kind of snapped, and I had to go in there and kind of put my foot down, and it was terrifying.
Were you like, no, set me up with a meeting. I need to go in there
I
and talk
did,
to them?
yeah.
Wow.
I hit up my manager, and I was like, we are going in there on Friday because I have to get some shit off my chest, and it was terrifying because I respect I respect the people who are in charge of talent.
Yeah.
They call me personally on my phone number. Like
Mhm.
you know, we follow each other on Instagram. I see their kids, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, hey, FYI, I remember saying like this Stockholm syndrome is not fun.
Uh-huh.
Like it was just like I feel like I just feel like shit or get off the pot. Like
Mhm.
seriously. I'm like I remember saying like how long have we been doing this? And they were like, well, for a while now. I'm like, yeah, George Bush was president. And that's when it was like,
Did they
oh,
laugh at
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That
I
is
was like,
funny.
I was like, seriously, like let's go already. And so that's when I left, and I was like, okay, cool, 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 cool. And you know,
Did you feel scared after?
yeah, oh God,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Because I mean, you never know. But I was like, if I don't do this, then what am I? I'm not going to be like just pushed around or like,
Yeah.
you know. And they've actually had some issues with, you know, rebuilding the consistency of their network and where they want to go as far as
Mhm.
like
Programming.
programming and digital, and how, you know, people aren't watching TV as much and people are watching their phones more. And so they've been, you know, What the Fashion's been doing
Mhm.
great. We're actually doing 2 episodes a week now, starting
Awesome.
September 4th. So that's great. And they're using me as like, you know,
Mhm.
this like digital host for stuff, their content or whatever. So it's been great. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I'm like, okay, what's next? Now what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I want to play some more. So,
Yeah. Did you so then did you pitch What the Fashion, or
no. It
they
was,
had it and fit you in?
because Fashion Police was so big, like
Mhm.
when Joan was alive. And, when she passed, I had written for like 2 of the episodes. They had me in as like a guest writer.
Mhm.
So like my first assignment was the Met Gala. It was like massive, like the biggest night, and that was such a long day. because you'd submit jokes and then someone would get back and they're like, oh, we're cutting the Beyonce segment. And you're like, but I had a really good joke in that one.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then she passed away. And so Melissa kind of took over. And then it was like fashion expert Nene Leakes, which no one says. So you're like, what?
Never.
And then we have guest stylist Margaret Cho. We're like, wait, what is happening?
Okay. Yeah.
And then it just kind of fizzled out because it wasn't the same.
Yeah. I
And
loved Fashion
and it was
Police
a
growing
great,
up.
yeah, it was, but I mean, that was Joan's show.
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't know what to do. And I think Snapchat was kind of like, hey, we're getting into like original content. We want to come up with this idea for Fashion Police, but kind of like gear it towards millennials and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we just kind of went in there. They used, it was supposed to be Morgan's show. Morgan, who's my co-host
Okay,
on
yeah.
it, because she was from Rich Kids of Beverly Hills,
Right.
and so I tested with her, and she and I got along very well.
Mhm.
And then we ended up bringing in Zuri, who was like our first person we tested with, the three of us. And she's, red carpet. She does all the like,
Mhm.
interviews and stuff like that. Morgan and I are just like insane people. And it just kind of works. So Morgan's like the fashion expert. Zuri's like the straight anchor of the
Mhm.
show, and then I'm just like the comedian, like, what is this?
Yeah.
She looks like this, looks like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm the guy who says what everyone else is thinking.
Right.
And it just kind of worked out, and then that's when Snapchat was like, Justin's gonna be the host, and I was like, Bobby.
And you're like, yes, I am.
No, but we definitely have like such an amazing dynamic, and it's fun, but I just feel now, and the love and the appreciation has been very, very nice. Like everyone who's following me now on Instagram and who's following What the Fashion on Instagram, like it's very nice. Like I missed a day, like my grandma passed away in March, and like I couldn't be there,
Mhm.
and people were like, "Don't you ever leave again?" And I'm like, so it's nice. It's nice because it's opening up like the fan base, and people are getting introduced to me and stuff like that.
I love that.
Because it's kind of hard, like to get around as a comic, but like when you find your little niche, that's when
Mhm.
I've said niche a lot on this show.
Have we?
I think there's a lot of niche happening, but you've got to like put it out there, and it's like, shit, Theo just landed like a movie role.
I know,
which is
huge.
crazy, and
Yeah.
I just feel like that's where we're kind of like there's like a little bit of a witchy vibe happening right now, where people are like, doing things.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff we can't talk about right now because it hasn't been announced and stuff.
Right.
But stay tuned because you will hear like
Some more
some more fun things that are
stuff from
happening.
Justin.
Well, like, not just me, but comics here at the store. Like
Right.
everyone's kind of like there's like a little bit of a renaissance kind of happening
Ooh, yes.
where people are either booking things or like I know
Mhm.
Crystalia's like doing movies now, and he's like
Mhm.
on the new season of You coming out on Netflix. Tiffany Haddish just has, They Ready, which just
Mhm.
came out on Netflix. I'm trying to think of like what else is happening, but I can't really talk about it. I know what's happening,
Yeah.
I just can't talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're excited, and we'll be sure to be following up with Justin.
You can catch me burning sage on Friday.
Yeah, where can we find you on social
You
media?
can find me at Justin Martindale on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter. Are you on Twitter
Yeah.
as much?
Sort of.
I'm kind of on
sometimes.
it-ish, but
Okay.
I'm on at Just Martindale on Twitter, and then
What the
Fashion on Snapchat, and that comes out every Thursday. But I think in September it comes out I think it comes out Wednesdays and Fridays. But just subscribe to it, With the Fashion on Eve.
Awesome. Thank you
Ah.
so much for coming on, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Thank you. Bye.